Our guest for today, none other than Goatphew. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
No, no
Good to
worries,
see
man.
you.
No, thank you. Appreciate you taking the time to come out and talk to the people and come on and that really. So yeah, man. I guess we'll just get into it, really. I guess obviously
Yeah.
you're a photographer. We met briefly.
hmm
It would have been I think 2 years ago versus fighting now,
Two
or
years ago,
maybe.
yeah, two versus fightings ago. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. What 6 years? Yeah. So I guess first thing, you just let the people know who you are. Just talk to them, let them know who you are, what you do, and
So, yeah, okay. My name is Goatphew. To be honest with you, I prefer just Few, but it's basically a shortening of Matthew. That's actually my English name.
nice,
And
nice, nice.
I don't like Matt, but my parents have always called me Few, so that's where the Few comes from. And the goat, funny enough, is I don't think I'm the greatest of all time at anything, but basically in Vietnamese we have like for my nephews that call me uncle.
Mm.
The word for uncle is goat. It's spelled
Okay.
CAU, so that's where
Yeah,
that comes
yeah.
from. So they've been calling me Goatphew my whole life, and I'm the youngest, and yeah, so that's where the name comes from. Before people think that I'm just being really obnoxious, but
Fair,
yeah.
fair.
So yeah, my name's Hugh. I'm a photographer. I'm from London. Grew up in East London my whole life, and like anyone else, probably here watching, and yourself, just a fan of fighting games ever since the beginning, for sure.
Six. So I guess like in terms of like your photography as it were, like how did you get started in photography? Was it always like a passion of yours when you were younger? Was it something that you kind of stumbled into? How did you get into photography initially?
I think initially it's definitely something that I stumbled into. It wasn't like a primary interest for me.
Mm.
I only started photography in college because I thought it was the easiest subject to get grades in.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
gotta come
so
on.
yeah, one of
Understand.
those ones. But initially, when since I was a kid, I've been known as someone who likes to draw. So I've been
Mm.
drawing my whole life, and
Mm.
I did photography in college for easy grades. Wasn't
Yeah.
easy. That was a mistake. And ever since then, I think from like the ages of 18 to 28,
Mm.
I lied to myself thinking that I was going to be a illustrator or a comic artist
Yeah.
until 2 years ago, which was when I was 29. I just finally accepted, let me bite the bullet. I think I
Yeah.
really like photography.
Mm.
And yeah, but I've been taking photos since college, huge hobby of mine. My dad and my mum obviously have just like photo books from like the 70s, back from when they
Oh
were in
wow.
Vietnam. So I grew up
Six.
looking at photos, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. So
And
it's always been a part of like your life
always,
essentially.
always, yeah. And it's like, there's nights where you just look back at old photos of your parents. And so
Yeah.
none of my siblings, I got five other siblings, none of them
Mm.
really take photos. And I thought, let me be the one to do those family
Yeah.
photos
Yeah.
for our generation. So
Yeah.
that's where
So
it's come from.
do you get called in like when it comes to like the family events and gatherings and stuff? You're the guy.
Do you know what? There's actually Uh, nah. Basically, I tried to be, but it was too scary. It was just too scary
Yeah.
because I'm the youngest. I
Okay.
was really shy growing up, so
Yeah.
it didn't really happen
Ah,
as like that. I did want it to be, but we don't. My
yeah.
parents are a bit old now. We don't really go to family gatherings and stuff.
Ah,
So
fair.
I wish. I
Yeah,
wish.
I don't like the pressure. Like when it's like, oh yeah, Stephen, bring the
Yeah.
camera and do this, and it's like,
Yeah. Yeah,
don't
and
like
you
the
know,
pressure.
imagine having like a massive DSLR where everyone's chilling, everyone's
Yeah,
having like beers and stuff, and you're just there trying to like, yeah, let me take a
yeah.
snapshot.
Just all up in everyone's grill, just like,
Not
yeah,
happening, not happening.
yeah. I still feel awkward at time. Like it's lucky because obviously at versus fighting, you can just be all over the place and you're not really in people's faces. But obviously, I
Yeah,
do photography outside of it. But even me, sometimes I still feel a bit like, oh, can I
yeah,
be here? And yeah,
yeah.
so it's a
There-
bit mad. It's a bit mad.
it's definitely. I don't even know what the word is because it's not shy. You
Mm.
just feel, you just don't want to feel like a creep. You
Yeah.
just don't want
Like
to feel
invading
creepy.
people's like space and
Yeah,
privacy and stuff.
yeah.
Like,
I
yeah.
think
Nah.
the only time where that kind of goes away is when like, nah, it never really goes away. I'm lying. It doesn't really go away.
Yeah.
You definitely feel it in you to be
Mm.
like, yeah, I don't want to feel like a creep.
It's fair. So
Yeah.
I guess like obviously you've done it at college. You started doing it at college and stuff for easy grades. when was the point where like you decided to kind of take it more seriously, like, and what was your kind of
Um,
first kind of break into, like, when did you decide like, okay, this is what I'm doing for going to do as like hobby slash career type thing?
I think it happened when um, that, I thought I had the answer to this, but I actually don't. To be honest with you, in terms of, I think for me, I was always, I never thought it would be a main thing. I just always thought of it as a side thing because
Yeah.
I was making money here and there. Like people ask me for like a portrait every once
Yes.
in a while. I'm the kind of person where I don't really turn down a challenge. Like I can be really clear to someone if I know I can't do something.
Yeah.
But there's been a couple of times where people will ask me for something. I say, I think I can do that, and then I ended up really liking it. So like stuff like portraits, like just headshot portraits,
Yeah.
and food photography is something that I really like. So that stuff like that, I've kind of been doing on the side, but I only accepted it as like a side job, like little pocket money on the side.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
But
like side hustle essentially. Yeah.
yeah, but it was only recently when I actually went to versus fighting. That's the first time. That's when I thought to myself, I would really like to turn this into a career, because that's when I
Um,
started meeting like actual people within a scene that I actually really enjoyed. Because um, you have to imagine, for me anyways, because you said you've been in this for like 15 or something years,
well,
right?
I've been
You've
for a
been
long
here for
time.
a while,
Long
bro.
time.
Imagine, like I don't know how old you are, but I'm 31, right? But I've been, remember back in the days where it used to be kind of embarrassing to only go to never go to an event and only
Yeah.
watch it online.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
bro,
Yeah.
I've been calling myself a stream monster my whole
Yeah.
life,
Stream
because
monsters.
that's what you would be called, a stream
Yeah. Yeah.
monster,
Yeah.
innit?
Stream
So I've
monsters.
been,
Yeah.
yeah. So like since 2006, there wasn't any streams, and the streams started happening, and I've never been to an event in real life up until
Oh wow.
versus fighting when I first met you 2 years
Oh,
ago.
that was. Oh wow.
That's
That
the
was your
first.
actual
That's the
first.
first time I've ever been to an event. So
Oh
that's for
wow.
me.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it, and then that's
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
had my camera, and people just knew me as a photographer, because that's just the first impression.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so meeting people like you, I met Xavier, I met N Studios, and then I
Yeah.
met
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
guys from like those guys,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
but it was such a beautiful event. It actually felt like a dream. Like I saw people
Oh
walking
wow.
around. I
Yeah.
saw
Yeah.
John Ding like just talking to people, and I
Yeah.
was like, I don't even watch Tekken. I've never played Tekken, but I
Yeah.
know who this guy is,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
just
And
felt like
see
this guy
there,
is
like,
crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So that's when I thought to myself, 100%. I knew that was what I wanted to
something that
do.
you wanted to pursue. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
for
it.
sure, for sure.
That's it. That's it. So yeah. So I
Yeah.
guess like obviously you we get to like versus fighting and how that was for you initially. But how did you? Have you always liked fighting games then initially then in terms of like going up and
Yeah,
stuff? Yeah.
yeah. So my brothers, I tell you a funny story. So I grew up in a place called Hackney.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of people might know that, and my parents, we didn't, my family wasn't, we were poor basically, but I have a brother called Martin, and I remember he's notorious for starving at school to save his pocket money.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And one of my earliest memories is my brother running home, and the living room had the window to outside of my flat, and we could
Yeah.
hear him running. Like, he came home late. Basically, he came home late one day, and he running, and he said
Yeah.
to my
Yeah.
brother, John, I got it. And my brother John was like, oh snap, he's got it. And
Yeah.
I'm a kid. My brothers are like 7 and 9 years older than me. I'm literally a kid,
Yeah.
and they're in secondary school.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know what the commotion is, but I can tell that this is going to be sick. And my brother came home with Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
One
So
of the classics.
literally, yeah, ever since I was a kid, I've been watching them play Street Fighter. Like, ever
Yeah.
since I was a kid. So
Yeah.
I was never good enough to play with them. I wasn't even allowed to play the consoles most of the time. I would have to play it while they were at school, and then I would
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
unplug it when they come back. But ever since I was a kid, man, just Street Fighter. I remember watching my brother like throw a million Sonic booms at a like level 9 CPU to chip them out, because he
Yeah.
couldn't beat them like traditionally. So he
Yeah.
just like chip them out with Sonic booms like all day.
Yeah.
Like, listen, yeah, literally my whole life just Street
Yeah.
Fighter, and then to get into Street Fighter, like how we know it, 2006, unfortunately, like many others, I saw the Daigo parry on
Oh,
YouTube.
yeah,
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 and that was it. Life changed. I didn't
yeah,
even know like First Strike was a game, bro.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
even
yeah,
know that was a game. And so when I see Ken parrying with the
yeah,
sickest song I've ever
yeah,
heard in the background, I'm
yeah.
just like, what the hell is this? And by that time, no one's even playing that game anymore. People were playing like SNK still, or
Yeah.
the
Tekkens and
people,
3D
yeah,
Five.
Tekkens, yeah,
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 it's crazy.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was definitely a little bit behind, but I mean, being from the UK, I don't think I can blame myself if I didn't really go out that much either.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Fair, 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 fair. Yeah, I think one of the previous episodes we had Jinty on. He's like one of our local players, and I
yeah,
remember he had a story when I went to his house and showed him the Daigo parry, and he was like, we
yeah,
were playing fighting games anyway, but like at the time,
yeah,
like I showed him, and he was like, yeah, this is sick. So I think that definitely had an impact on a lot of people, like when
yeah,
they saw that, because it's crazy. It's still obviously still
yeah.
crazy now. We still talk about it now.
Oh, best best esports moment ever, just
Mm.
hands down. You can't
Yeah, it's
even
timeless.
deny it, man.
It's
Timeless,
timeless, man.
definitely timeless. It
Timeless.
ascends like esports, even just like
Yeah,
euphoria for like the viewer. Like
yeah.
I can't even imagine being in that room. That would have been insane.
Crazy, man. So I guess
Yeah.
so you like grew up on like Street Fighter, really. So were
Hmm.
you playing those back in the day much, or and then did you get to a point where like you wanted to kind of push that more in terms of playing the games, or but you've always had an interest
Nah,
essentially in fighting games?
I loved playing it. I
Mm.
think because I never went out, I was quite secluded as a kid. I never
Yeah,
left my house in Hackney. It was too dangerous for me to be out, anyways.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So for me, I mainly got really into playing when Xbox Live was around. So Street
yeah,
Fighter
yeah.
4,
Yeah.
when that came around, that was my thing, just playing online.
Mm.
I was never good at it. I think the highest I ever got was like a C plus rank with Ibuki on ranked. So I was never really good at it. But I think
Yeah,
it's one of those things where it doesn't really matter like how
yeah,
good you are. I think learning a game and like I think no matter what skill you are, there's always a respect for like other players and you understand each
100%.
other like what a fighting game is.
Yeah, definitely, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. So, like, I'd say you mentioned it briefly earlier. Versus fighting in 2023 was your first event.
Was it 2023? Yeah, it
Was
must have been
it
2023. I think it is
2023? Yeah,
2023. Yeah, it's
that's
quite a while
actually
ago.
crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, so
Yeah.
first of all, what brought you to versus fighting? Obviously, you said you enjoy fighting games, and were you watching other events at the time and things, and then you just thought, you know what, I'm gonna make it to this one. Like, was there a particular reason why you ended up at versus fighting,
There
or?
was a reason. There was a
Mm,
reason. Yeah, I might as well tell you the reason. It happened a while ago. Basically, I worked my job that I was at. I basically got suspended for something quite serious.
oh, okay, okay,
That
fair enough.
wasn't really my fault. I worked in
Yeah,
like I can't really say what it is because of GDPR, but
yeah. You don't
I
need to blow
worked.
it up like that. You
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
need to blow it
yeah.
up. That's
But
fair. That's
it was like a wrongful suspension, and I was on the
okay, okay.
ropes, like mental ropes, for like 3 months. So I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
off work for like 3 months,
mm,
and then I was just like, I was still getting paid for it,
yeah,
and my girlfriend was just like, "Yo, you've been in the house for like a long time, like, and you've been
yeah,
stressed. I think
yeah.
we should probably do something." I was too scared to even leave my house in case I got a random phone call saying like, "Yeah, you need to come in for a meeting."
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
yes, and then out of nowhere, I don't even know how I saw it. I can't remember what I saw.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know why I went. I'm not
Mm,
sure why I went, but um, I just remember just saying to myself, I think I'm gonna go Birmingham. Like, I think I'm gonna
mm,
go Birmingham. I
yeah.
think I'm gonna go there for. I literally only went there for one night. I went out on a Saturday and a Sunday because I couldn't afford to go. Actually, it's kind of
Mm,
expensive.
mm.
And then I went there, and bro, best decision of my life.
Oh
Honestly,
wow.
yeah, best decision of my life. I don't think, but like, yeah, in that state of mind, the
Yeah,
happiness that it brought
yeah.
me,
What it brought to you
what it
during that
brought
whole
to me
period.
at that time, yeah, because that was one of the lowest points of my life, and literally about a couple weeks later, um, yeah, I didn't. Turns out I wasn't suspended.
Oh man.
So yeah, so
Yeah,
it was one of those things where it was just like it was a double win. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
went
yeah.
there, it was one of the best things ever, and then like I went back. But yeah, that was literally my first FGC event ever,
Crazy. I
ever.
didn't think, man. So obviously
Yeah.
you've come down, you've got your camera. What was the intention? Was it just to, okay, let's just see what it's like. Let me just take
Yeah.
a few snaps and just go from there, really, and just
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. The main thing that I went there for was for First Strike. I think I went there for First Strike, and I just wanted to see it. I just wanted to see high level First Strike. I was gonna take
yeah,
photos. I always take photos now, and then I have a thing, which I don't know if you know, but I like to take Polaroids. So I take Polaroids when I
yeah. I
go
think I'm sure I saw some. I'm sure I saw some from
Yeah,
our.
so anytime I see anything where I might meet someone famous, I bring a Polaroid. So I was just like, I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna get. Oh, do you
yeah.
know who it might have been? It might have been. I'm not gonna lie. It might have been because of Tasty Steve.
Okay, okay,
I'm not
okay,
gonna lie.
okay.
I
Yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah.
seeing it, and do you know what's really ironic? The one Polaroid that I have of Tasty Steve
Yeah.
is underexposed. It's so mad. It's literally just black. I don't know
Oh,
why,
no.
but yeah, it's literally just black. So the
Yeah.
one he might have been the reason why I went, but yeah, it was kind of messed up. But yeah, so yeah, that's the main thing I went for was for photos, and I think something that I regret like the most is not doing it earlier. I think that's the initial reaction that I got was just
Okay.
I wish I did this earlier because this is something that I definitely would keep doing for like
Yeah.
the rest of
Like that.
my
If that
life.
is the dream, what you could.
Yeah, literally, it's a dream for me now. I can't even
Yeah.
imagine what it would have been like if I started before and if I was to, yeah, who knows? But everything happens for a reason, so I'm
Yeah, it's a
assuming.
good thing that you started when you
Yeah,
started.
maybe,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shout out to Jassy in the chat. Is saying that Tasty Steve had too much aura, which is why.
Possibly,
Yeah, and
possibly.
again,
Got the
Jassy is the guy
scopes.
that mainly sorts out Jassy and his team. They do the third strike. The versus
Yeah.
fighting. So it's
I've
always
spoken
hard.
to him. I've spoken to him.
Yeah.
Everyone's just too nice, man.
No, appreciate that, man. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so you obviously gone with the camera and it's sick, and then you just
Mhm.
add on from there. Now, so I think like when when you were there and everything was great, and obviously you've gone through, you took your pictures, took your shots, and you kind of said to yourself, okay, this is what I want to do now. Did you kind of take any specific steps going forward, or was it just like, okay, I know this is what I want to do, I'm gonna start going to more events from here?
Do you know what? I haven't done much, you know. I haven't done much. Obviously, I've kept in touch with like people like, you know, Richard and Mark.
Yeah.
But realistically, for me, I feel like there isn't that much events. But hearing your intro, and maybe I'm just not in touch with
I
the
told you
community.
where the events are and
Yeah,
things
where
like
the events are. So I mean,
yeah,
there's definitely places for me to go, but it's
of
also
course,
time and money because
time and
like
finding
me going to Birmingham was kind of expensive last minute as well because I think I literally going back to that real quick is I think
yeah.
I decided to go there literally a week before
Okay,
the event
yeah.
started, and then I remember what had happened was I just remember. Do you know what happened? Actually, I remember watching an interview with Vexani, and I think she literally just said like, just ask the TO in this kind of situation where if you want to do something, just ask the TO and see what can happen. Like, don't expect to be paid or whatever, and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And so I just sent Xavier a message on Discord, and he was just like, "Yeah, I got you. Just come.
yeah,
We got a band with you, yeah." And then that was it. I was in. I didn't know it would be that easy, to be honest with you. And so I went there and took the photos. But it was expensive. Like last minute train ticket and then last minute hotel as well.
Hotel,
It's kind of expensive. So I
because everything would
definitely
have been
spent.
booked up by then and stuff.
Yeah. But I wouldn't like change it for the world at the moment. But that was my experience. Yeah.
No.
What was your question again? Damn.
It's all good, man. It's all good. But honestly, I'm glad like you came as well, because just being there, and obviously as a fellow photographer, if you will, like I'm a fake photographer though. I'm a fake photographer.
Don't say that.
I
Don't
do
say
so much
that.
other stuff that like I can't
Yeah.
really claim to be like a photographer. I just take shots and stuff. But I try and
You just gotta say you're creative, man. People will
I
appreciate
respect the
that.
craft doing it, so I try and like
Yeah.
it's always good to speak to like other photographers and see like how their process is. So,
And good photographers come out, man. Like,
yeah.
I remember my first one there, bro. I got like bare attitude from like other people, and the one guy that proper made my weekend was Jacob.
Yeah. Shout out, yeah, shout
Jacob,
out, Jason, man.
shout out to Jacob because he
Yeah,
honestly gave me so much
yeah.
like
Such a good man.
intel of how things went around. And the thing is,
Oh yeah,
he's not even like an FGC head. Like
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
I was telling him like, bro, John Ding's like sitting right in front of us or
yeah,
whoever, and he's just
yeah.
like, yeah, I know him on Instagram, but
Doesn't really know like
yeah,
that.
he doesn't know though. I was just like,
Yeah,
bro, this
yeah.
is crazy.
No,
Yeah, and
shout out to Jason,
he's
man. Yeah.
he's such a nice guy. Yeah.
I've got him scheduled to come on in the next few weeks, so I'll like be chatting with
Yeah,
him in the next
yeah,
few
I'll be
weeks.
watching that. I'll be watching that.
Shout out to Jacob, man. Shout out
Yeah.
to Jacob. So yeah, I think we're gonna get into obviously versus fighting is a great event. How many events have you done now off the top of your head since? Or I say you've not really done too much since then.
I haven't done any, man. I've been to a couple. I've been to like one Winner Stays On. I'm trying to go to the one that you just mentioned this weekend. Because the last time I went, it was at a different venue. But honestly, I don't know. I need to figure out where you find out this stuff because I don't know where they are. Because I'm just assuming.
All on socials. I hit you up after and like I'll share because I think to be fair, I barely know it, but I'm on Twitter all the time because I have to be because obviously I do all the socials and stuff as well. And I'm all things to all people. But yeah, man, what I'm gonna do now is obviously share some of your work. Like I've had a look. Your work is sick, man. So
thank you.
I guess we're just gonna obviously go through some of your work and just obviously talk about like. I guess how did you even start? Like once you've got to a point where you finished your studies and stuff and you're out there now as this photographer. How did you find it getting work first of all? Like,
what do you mean? Like, how do I get into these positions or?
Yeah. Just generally, like, obviously, some of these things are more like word of mouth. Is friends of friends.
It's definitely for me currently word of mouth and friends of friends. Like, if you look at some of these photos, like this picture right here, right in the middle, they're my friends.
Oh, okay.
They're my friends, yeah. And that guy is a photographer himself, so he's a sick photographer as well. So, that's one of those things where it's kind of nice where people like, if they're a photographer. And they're asking you to be their photographer. That's kind of crazy. No, I think that's where like stuff like that happens. And bro, this is years ago. This is over 5 years ago. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's not even like too different from what I do now.
Yeah. So that's literally just more like word of mouth. Just
word of mouth. Yeah. Some of the portraits that I've done, like on the left, that's my niece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my family. These are my friends here.
Yeah.
That's Scooch on the left. On the right, that's Dammy. He makes music. So luckily, that's another thing with me. Like growing up in London, I've grown up with a lot of creatives. So like, I'm friends with like loads of rappers, producers, other visual artists and stuff. And then, I've got a lot of my nieces and nephews. I don't know why, but they've like their parents have got them into modeling, so I'm just there to take headshots of them for when they want to get jobs and stuff. So these are like this is for me to say this is stuff that I can do. Like I said, I've done portraits before.
Yeah.
And doesn't help not having photos to show for it. So just got.
So is it part of like your? So how long were you studying photography before you finished your studies and that then really?
I didn't really take it seriously up until, but this is the thing, yeah. Like you know how this is the good thing about Street Fighter, like or fighting games in general. Like the amount of time that you have to spend in a lab, is vicious. Like if you use remember one frame link days and you're literally just robotic and you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like for me, doing that for so long, learning about photography is not even that hard. And like when I have to go on YouTube, I watch one video and I'm like, oh yeah, let me try this. So for me, like I find it fun when I'm a little bit stressed out.
Yeah.
When I'm going into an event or a job because I'm like, I haven't fully practiced this, but I want to see how it goes and see what the results are. Yeah. So that kind of background with fighting games really helps in this scenario where I don't know what's going to happen. But I know the theory behind it, and I think it's going to turn out great. And even if it doesn't turn out great, artistically, it's art. At the end of the day, people's perceptions aren't going to be whatever. So
Yeah, and I think like by like just I guess they say like kind of trial and error and just know like okay, you
yeah,
know the theory in your head, and because I think for me when I'm doing like photography events, obviously there's you can't account for things that are gonna happen, like
yeah,
especially like there's gonna be a pop off over here or something's gonna happen over there that you might think
yeah,
that may be a good shot. You've kind of got to, for me at least,
yeah,
I'm kind of like free flow with it, and it's just like okay, I'm gonna
yeah,
take good shots. I'm confident in what I'm gonna do,
yeah.
and the outcome will be the outcome, really, I guess. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we've also had like really good references in other photographers. You
That's
know,
a fact.
like I mentioned
That's
before, like Vexani and blah blah blah.
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
there's only so many different shots that you can get. It's
yeah,
down
yeah,
to
yeah,
you. It's
yeah,
then down to you to get like the how creative you can get
yeah.
in the way
Like
that you take
framing
photos.
and and
Yeah,
posts and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that. Because they say there's only so much. For example,
yeah.
yeah, where you can get commentators in a high moment. Like there's only so much.
There's only so much you can do. But I mean, for me, like the way that I edit it, because my
Mm.
background in photography, I spent a lot of time in my younger 20s shooting on film.
Okay,
So
okay.
a lot of my editing, I appreciate, I love film
Yeah,
basically. So I try
yeah,
to edit so that it is similar to film. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
really like dark shadows and,
yeah.
when the highlights hit, like I just let the highlights just, that's it.
Mm.
So sometimes for me, for me, silhouettes are really important.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, yeah, a lot of these heads that you see here, like literal heads, usually they pop out like quite a bit. So, in
Mm.
terms of like, to answer your question before, like, what kind of preparation and stuff, it's just a lot of studying, man. Just a lot of
Mm.
studying,
Mm.
and that's why I say before, like, if you've played Street Fighter, studying's not hard, man, because
Yeah.
when you're practicing combos all day long,
Yeah, yeah, just
learning
grinding it
other,
out in the labs and
yeah,
training mode and stuff like
yeah,
yeah,
like that's
yeah.
kind of ingrained in you. You don't even that doesn't really go away in other things
Yeah.
in life,
So do you feel like it's kind of like second nature to you now? Like you don't really, you don't really prep to go into an event. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna go, and everything will just come naturally because you've kind of done the foundation work behind the scenes back
I
in the day.
think
I guess,
so.
like,
Yeah, I think so. Because I did a lot of street photography as well.
okay,
So I
okay,
used to
okay.
just like walk around. Bro, I'm in London. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
I walk
yeah,
down most places and it's kind of interesting,
yeah.
and
There's
just
something that will pique your interest.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So it's for me, yeah, it's not that difficult. It's just trying to find the right timing. That's the most important thing, in my opinion, in
mm,
like with most photography. It's just the timing of
yeah,
things. Yeah, you can get a good frame shot of anything, but getting a timed photo to make it interesting is different. Because that's when you
mm.
tell the story, innit? Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. I feel like I always try and tell some kind of story. As I say, I'm super, super, super inexperienced in terms of like, I guess the process and the fundamentals of like photography. I know understand the basics, but because again, as I say, I do so much, like I've never had the time to kind of dedicate. I love photography and I love everything about it.
yeah,
And like if I had more time to do more and kind of learn and say that behind the scenes process of it, but
yeah,
again, you're always trying to tell a story with what you're taking
yeah,
essentially. Like
yeah,
but
yeah,
again, sometimes it's hard when, as I say, there's only so many times you
yeah.
can take a picture of this person or of
One
this
hundred
kind of
percent. Yeah,
yeah. So it will come down. I think it will come down to like the moments and things that you can kind of catch. And again,
yeah.
timing is 100% like, especially in regards to events and stuff, 100% correct because you've got to be in the right place at the right time when certain things are
One hundred
happening.
percent.
Essentially,
Yeah,
like
100%. That's one of the best feelings as well. Like
mm,
being able to be there to catch those moments where you're never gonna catch that photo again. Like
yeah,
if I had to put it in like Street Fighter terms, it would be like getting a link that's only possible if you hit a meaty on wake up. You know, like when that hits,
yeah,
you know you've got something special, and like it
yeah,
feels good. Like it
yeah,
really feels good. Like once in a lifetime stuff.
yeah.
Like a lot of these shots that I see here, like I don't think a lot of them are special, but
Mm,
there's a couple where it stands out where I'm like, I'm not gonna get that again.
yeah, yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
not
yeah.
gonna get that again.
Yeah. So I guess like what I guess first of all, what do you use equipment wise? Equipment wise, what do you use? Like
Most of my all of my cameras are Fujifilm.
Okay.
Because they're actually modeled like film cameras.
Film, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
a lot of them, if I can even find my one. Ah, it's on the tripod. Give me one sec.
No, no worries.
Yeah, so a lot of my cameras here, they have
Okay.
like the dials on top.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
genuinely, sometimes I'm shooting and I've got my eye up here. I know I need to change a setting. I don't even take my camera away. I know the setting from where it is here, so I'm not
Oh,
even looking
wow.
at it and I can turn it. That's what I like about them. But there are downsides as well. Like the focus isn't as fast. I miss focus
Yeah.
a lot, and that's like one of the most important things with like event photography.
Yeah.
So I miss focus a lot, and it's not that bright either. So like if you're
Oh, yeah, with
a full
lighting and
frame
stuff.
shooter, yeah, if you're a full frame shooter, you're kind of used to getting like lower f-stops. But for me, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
The lenses are cheaper, and that's basically I don't earn a lot of money. I
Yeah.
definitely don't earn a lot of money. So for me, yeah, I've got
Yeah.
a couple Fujifilm bodies, one really old one newer one, and my favorite lenses are wide lenses at the moment.
Ah, nice, nice.
So yeah, I use a 35 equivalent, and then I've got like a really wide zoom lens equivalent, and I've only got one long lens, and that
Yeah.
is a 75 millimeter equivalent. It's like a
Yeah.
75 millimeter equivalent. Yeah. So a lot of the zoomed in lenses shots that you see will be with that one lens. And
Oh,
it's
okay,
sick.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Nice. You got a nice settlement. Me, I'm just a Sony guy. I'm a Sony guy right now. But again, you say about obviously the financials and like I think another thing that kind of stopped me doing more with the photography is that lenses are so damn expensive.
It's so
And
expensive.
like
I'm assuming you got like an A7
no,
something.
no, no, no,
Nah.
ZV-E10, bro. ZV-E10,
Is that
bro.
a full
Like
frame or a crop sensor?
it's not full frame. Not
It's
full
not full
frame.
frame crop sensor. So yeah, at least you're not on full frame because those lenses would be like double, bro.
Yeah.
They'd be double for sure.
Yeah, I say, man. I could like I would love to be able to kind of commit fully, but like yeah, just
Nah, it's too
ZV-10
expensive.
got Sigma 18 to 55, and then I got a Tamron 70 to 300 mil. And
The
I'm just
Tamron, bro, the third-party lenses for like those kind
yeah,
of cameras are good though. Like you
they are
can't
good. They
even,
are good to be
yeah,
fair. They
they're
are
really
good to be
good.
fair.
There's a
And like
couple for Fuji that are actually better than the Fuji
oh
lenses.
wow, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, and like those are like that. And like before that, I was just using a standard Nikon D3 300, and this was like yeah, that was like my first camera that I got. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I want to start learning photography and stuff, and I bought that like years ago,
Yeah.
and then I got to a point I was like, I need to upgrade to something, but again, I can't justify spending that much on the body and then all
Yeah.
the
If
rest of
you're
it.
not
Because
getting the return from it, for
that's
sure,
the
it's
thing.
hard to,
I'm
it's
not gonna get.
difficult.
It's
Yeah.
like more of like a hobby camera, and like if I'm gonna
Yeah.
go on holiday, I can take some nice looking shots with that, but like I don't need the
Yeah.
full like
Yeah,
frame
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
You
That's
know
that.
what?
That's it's difficult. It's a hard balance to find. That's why I
It is.
like doing the. That's why you got to find other stuff
Yeah,
because events is really hard to get paid with, and
yeah,
not that they don't pay you. It's just there are other people that definitely are getting paid, and
yeah.
it's really competitive.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
competitive. That is a great word. Like,
one
it's
hundred percent.
definitely competitive, and obviously within this kind of quote unquote niche kind of field that we're in with fighting games, like everyone's trying to get their own piece of the pie.
Not
And
only is it a niche, it's not only a niche, but it's still. I think it's still trying to find its footing again after what happened a couple of
COVID,
years ago.
yeah,
With yeah,
yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's rough. It's rough for a lot of
Mm,
us right now, man. But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's why I've been really enjoying food and portraits. I've been taking lots of food photos.
Oh, okay. Nah, these
Yeah,
are.
taking a lot.
I'm
Yeah.
getting hungry now. I'm kind of getting hungry.
Sorry, man.
These are some sick shots. These are sick shots.
Yeah. I need to update my website because I don't think you can click. And I've been
Nah, yeah,
taking loads
you
more
can't
as
do that.
well.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm looking
I
forward to
will.
seeing some more. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
You'll see some more. You see some more. Yeah,
That's it,
man.
man. So speaking of like other people in like like the FGC in terms of photographers, is there anyone that like inspires you that you've mentioned Vexenia, of course, obviously she's sick. Like, is there anyone else that kind of inspires you to kind of do what you do, or you look at that and say, oh well, you can learn something from them, or
100% there is. I'm gonna have to try and go on my Instagram to find him though.
no,
But
no worries, man, no worries, no worries,
there's a
man. We got time.
guy. There's a guy because I'm into like shooting games as well, and I'm a
Shooting
really
is
big
in
fan.
FPS or shooting is in like,
FPS.
oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
FPS. So I was really into, kind of still am. I was really into Apex Legends, and
Yes.
there's a guy that does their photography, and he is actually so sick. I think his name is Jake something, I can't remember his
Okay.
name.
Yeah.
His name
Yeah.
is Jake something. But honestly, a lot of the Vexani would like just talk to other photographers
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
on Twitter, and all of them are sick. All of them are
Yeah.
actually just killers, man. They've
Yeah.
got like everything down. Like when we talk about like the timing stuff, bro, they are magical with the timing, and that's what
Mm.
really. Already their photos are really clean. Like you know when you're
Yeah.
talking about like full frame cameras, like
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
lenses that are costing like 5 grand and
Yeah.
stuff.
And the lens is like
That's
this big,
yeah. Those are those
massive. Like,
guys. They've got
yeah.
like cameras on each side. You know how
Yeah.
like drift rolls around with like
Yeah.
two
Yeah. Yeah.
cameras on like a
Yeah.
vest. Like
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
they
All that,
roll around.
all the proper
Yeah.
setup and that, like
I
for
don't
every
have that
occasion.
kind of money,
Yeah,
bro.
I got one camera and it's this size, and the lens is this size, and that's it,
Yeah,
man.
bro, but
That's
their
it,
stuff
man.
is clean. Their stuff
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
clean. Like for me, like so the shot that you're looking at right now, that's on film, and you can tell there's like a texture for it. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's on my holiday, and for me, because my camera's a crop sensor and it's not that clean
Mm.
as those other guys.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I lean into like the textured film kind of
Yeah.
look. So I add the texture in so it looks kind of gritty and
Yeah.
dirty.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's in the long run. I don't know if that's healthy for like my
Aspirations
prospects.
and stuff.
Yeah, aspiration. Like especially because you know, like I feel like because esports is such a at the end of the day, it's like a photojournalism. You kind of want it
Yeah.
to be clean. You want it to be clear to, you
Yeah.
know,
Clean, clear.
so people can see in it. So I'm
Mm.
definitely leaning into the artistic side, and I
Yeah.
don't think that's the right play
Yeah.
in terms of longevity. But
Yeah.
yeah, those guys are not only is the quality good, because it would be offensive to say like it's just the quality of the cameras.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Their timing is so good, it's
Mm.
disgusting. And
Yeah.
I think you just have to have like an eye or
Yeah.
a level of concentration
Yeah.
that is on a different level.
Mm.
On a
Yeah.
different level.
Nah, I agree. I agree. Like I say, the timing is a lot because I know when
Yeah.
I again obviously mentioned you've got to be in the right places, and but I think again concentration because obviously these are long weekends sometimes, and like,
Bro,
very
it's
long-
more than a 9 to 5. It's
100%.
so early, man.
100%, and then you got to account for like obviously the editing of all the photos that you've done as well. Like
That's
it's-
something I've learned recently that for me I've gotten better at though the editing because I'm not gonna lie to you I don't know if it's cheating but I've been doing my edits in camera so
Okay.
my settings in camera are so good
Yeah.
the last event that I did which was not a VSF one it was the qualifier in the Samsung building for Capcom.
The Kings
Kings of the World. Kings of the
Yeah,
World.
back in the day. Yeah, back in the
Yeah,
day.
so if you see on Capcom's Twitter, some of the photos that they shared, a lot of those were straight from camera.
Oh, nice. I'll
Yeah,
have a look.
so like some people will have like a laptop set up at the event
Yeah.
and they'll be like
Oh,
transferring laptops and editing.
yeah.
Bro, I was just Bluetoothing those photos from the camera to my phone and I send it to the guy who was on Twitter to send
Yeah, and
them
then
straight
just
up.
upload it, yeah.
Yeah, so
I
that's
couldn't
something that I
imagine
begin.
doing, I couldn't imagine editing at the event. Like, I guess maybe slightly different for me because again, I'm doing so much other admin
Yeah,
stuff in regards to like
yeah.
verifying and whatever.
Yeah.
So like, I couldn't imagine editing at the event. It would be crazy for me to do that because I don't think I'd have the time and patience to.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
understand. Nah, that's sick though, man. That's it.
Yeah.
So do you generally just use like Lightroom just to edit? I think I pretty much use Lightroom.
Fujifilm
Oh,
have
is
like
it
a
different?
yeah, it's a different one. So Fujifilm have like their sensor is weird. Their sensor is kind of weird, and a lot of other softwares don't play around well with it. So I have
Okay.
one called Capture One, and
Oh,
they
I've heard of that
haven't.
one, I've heard
Yeah,
of that.
and their algorithm works really well with
With
Fujifilm. Yeah, yeah.
Sick.
So these portraits here that you see, they're on film as well.
Oh,
Those are on film. Yeah.
You're sick, man. So I guess would you have any I guess first of all advice in regards to anyone trying to get into like photography in general, and then I guess advice specific to like FGC events and stuff?
I think if it comes to photography, I think for 100%, I think you should. There's definitely some ground rules to learn. I think you just have to know them. It doesn't make sense if you don't know them.
Yeah.
So like the science behind photography, if you understand this, literally the science
Yeah.
with how your camera reacts to light, that is very important to know, because the moment you understand how light works with your
Yeah.
camera and how it interacts, that's when your next step is learning about f-stops.
Yeah.
So if you learn about f-stops, you kind of then understand in relation to your settings in the camera
Yeah.
what you need to change
Yeah.
live in time. Because there's times where when you first get into photography, you'll be like, oh, this is kind of blurry. What do I need to do? And
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
I've changed the shutter speed. Now it's really dark. Now it's really dark. What can I compensate? And the
Yeah.
ISO is going to make it kind of grainy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
what
What
is
is the
going
steps
on?
and the process to
Yeah,
kind
yeah. But then when you like, that's when you get really into like, overcoming those issues on the spot.
yeah.
And I think that's where that's where it really starts to get fun, because like
Mm.
a lot of the time in the FGC events, most of the time for me, I'm shooting at a really slow shutter speed,
Yeah.
like super slow shutter speed. Sometimes I'm at like 160th or 130th, and that blur actually is helpful, because then when you get people playing the matches and their hands are moving, it actually shows them playing the damn game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just one of those things that you have to understand, and also and obviously do your research on the games, but
Yeah.
it's not just about being good at photography. I think just if you just want to be good at photography for events, you just have to be good at photography, just period. I think you just have, there's loads of other things that you need to learn. Like, that's why painters back in the day, they used to paint still lifes. They used to paint pots of freaking fruit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
that is how you build those fundamentals to frame an image that looks pretty. It
Yeah.
would be, if we're keeping it to video games terms, it would literally be like knowing your spacing to know where the best combo will fit. And in terms of like the science of photography,
Yeah.
that's where you literally have to know frame data.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just have to.
I love your analogies. I
You know what
love
I'm
your
saying?
analogies.
Thank you.
No, no, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense, man. That makes sense. So have you got like a favorite event that you've been to, or favorite like shot that like when you brought it home, you looked at it and it's like, yeah, that is the shot. Like that's the shot. Like, have you got anything like that, or
I think I might have a couple. 100%. My favorite event has got to be the first versus fighting that I went to. Just for how just the or do you know what, actually, damn, that's actually a very difficult question, because the second VSF, which was the last one that I went to, my
yes?
cousin went as well. My cousin
Okay.
actually plays Tekken,
Oh, okay.
and I don't know if you know this, but he I didn't know that if I was gonna go or not until last minute.
Yeah.
Someone needed some camera work to be done
Yeah.
for the Tekken team, and luckily Aggie was able to refer me to that person, and I got it through. So shout outs to Aggie for that. And in return for me being there, my cousin literally just didn't know if I was going to be there or not. So I went there, and I managed to get my cousin to be literally the first match on the stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for Tekken, and luckily he won.
That's sick. That's
So
sick.
I think that kind of like tips it over to be like
Yeah,
my
that would like
favorite.
trump like the first one,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I guess.
But my favorite shot so far, literally anything I've got on Polaroid, I love, man, because I get the players to sign them as well.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, but from my first VSF, I've got two favorite photos. I think from my first VSF is when I'm like on the bottom of the stage and I'm shooting up, and John Dings turn around and he's literally just like pumped up his arms like that. It's on my, I think it's my Twitter header.
Oh, okay.
If you go on my Twitter, it might be there.
Let's see if we can get that logged up now.
And then
Yes. Let me share screen.
yeah, I think that is genuinely one of my favorite ones, because no one was standing there. And this is what I'm saying with like the timing and being creative. Like no one, if you like, everyone's got the shot of him standing up from the stage,
Yeah.
but no one got this shot of him turning around.
Yeah.
And is that that's the Akuma player, no?
Yes, I feel like it's Super Akuma.
Super Akuma, yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
Super Akuma.
Yeah.
And I think he beat him with Eddie. And do you know
Yeah.
what do you know what the sick story about this is? Is because I couldn't afford another night at the hotel,
Yeah.
I had to get the train back on the same night.
Okay.
And this was me literally leaving. I literally had to stand by these stairs,
Oh, to
get this
leave.
shot. I think this
Oh,
was finals, and John Dane played Eddie, and then I had
yeah.
to literally take the shot. And I said to Nathaniel, sorry,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and Studios, I had to say, "Yo, bro, I got a dip. I literally have to get on my train
Yeah.
very
Yeah. Yeah.
soon.
Oh,
I'll
that's
see you
mad.
later."
That's mad.
So I
That's
took this shot, and I literally ran out, and that was it, done. Yeah.
that's
So
mad.
this is a very, very good
That's
memory for
crazy.
me.
That's crazy. Now, speaking of that, actually, come to think of it, obviously you mentioned that you were down here and no one else was down there. Like, how do you find it with like there's other photographers at the event, and especially when it comes to like like stage shots and like grand finals and things where everyone's gonna be in the same kind of place? How do you find
Yeah.
managing that in terms of like
Yeah.
where
It's
to
rough.
be cut?
It's rough, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's rough.
It is. It is. It is.
And
It
at
is.
that time, there was, I think at VSF, there's only like 4 or 5 like serious photographers. So there's you. I can't remember all of the names, but I know Jacob's one.
Jacob's there.
Drift is one.
Shanna's there normally. As well.
That's her name,
Yeah,
Shanna. Yeah, she's there
yeah,
as well.
Shanna
And then
does
there's me.
the
So there's like 5 of us. There's
yeah,
about 5
yeah,
of us.
yeah,
And luckily, obviously everyone's cool. So like you can't be on stage.
yeah,
But for me, I respect the players too much to be on the stage.
yeah, yeah.
I just can't do it, man. Like if I'm like past their shoulders and I can
Yeah.
see their face, for me that's just I can't do that.
Yeah,
On that stage specifically, because then you kind of have to like lean over the wall.
yeah, yeah. You're kind of all
Yeah,
over the
it's
place.
kind of
like,
rough. Yeah, if the players faced
the
the
other way.
crowd, then
Yeah.
possibly maybe, but
Yeah, the way the face. You're kind of
yeah,
definitely like close.
yeah,
Like
you kind of
again,
have to
I
leave.
felt
Yeah,
like I know last year I felt like I was kind of invading space and do I just be here? And it's weird because again, it's perception and everything. Like I don't see myself as like a photographer in the sense of okay, I'm here to do a job to get paid kind of thing, because obviously
Yeah.
I do other stuff and whatever. So when I'm standing on the stage and I'm like, look, I see like Shanna, for example, I see you, and I'm like, this is your time kind of thing. Like I don't want
yeah,
to be in the way of you guys. So it's kind of
yeah,
I have a weird kind of complex with that because again, I
yeah,
just feel like the perception of like you guys, for me at least, is like you guys are like there. This is your job. You're here to specifically do that. Where I'm here to just help out the event and do the socials and do other stuff. And it's like I feel like I don't want to be in the way of messing up like your shots or so. I've got like a weird kind of complex. But I think I was getting over it like last year, where it was like, you know what, we're all here to enjoy the event and do the same thing. And like it's not an issue, but there's just a weird complex that I have, which is kind of strange. So
I think it depends on the setting, because on that stage, I think it's best for me. I don't think I would ever
be
go
on
over to
stage.
that side. Yeah, I don't think I could do that. Just because of I feel like it's such a secluded stage. I don't want to be like how you feel with us. That's how I feel about the players. Like you are
fair.
there. That's your one thing. I'm gonna let
Yeah.
you focus. I'm gonna let you focus.
Yeah, because you don't want to think of them playing and then like there's a flash going off and distractions and things like that. Yeah, because even I was a bit like feeling awkward about being that, because I've never really. I'd always be like like in the cinema seats and taking shots from there kind of thing. But to be on the other side was, I think it was probably the first time I've done it last year, to be fair. But
Shannon's really good at that. Shannon's really good. She doesn't care, man. She doesn't care. It's a good thing to her, because the shots that she gets are insane. But for me, I think I've never been in that position. I've played, I played like ranked games where if I lose, I'm gonna D-rank. And that stress is enough for me. I can't imagine playing for money and just being like, why is this photographer in my face, man? I'm not going to do this. Yeah. So for me, I just stand at the edge of the stage. I'm on the stairs and I've got a long lens. My 75 equivalent is perfect. Like I've got a couple of shots from there. Last year I did, before like top 8, one time I went on, actually it was top 8. I ran on stage and I think there was a match with, was it Broski? I think Broski and man, who's the OG with the afro? I forgot his name.
Right? No, not
Ryan,
right.
yeah, Ryan Hart, yeah,
But right
Ryan
now,
Hart. He
right
was in
now,
top
yeah, yeah,
eight.
yeah.
He was in top eight for Street
Yeah,
Fighter,
yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
went
He
on
was, he
stage,
was.
and then the shot was rubbish, and I was just like,
Mm,
there was not even any point of me doing that. I'm just gonna
mm.
do what I'm comfortable with because what I'm
Yeah,
comfortable with
yeah.
works. So I'm just
Fair,
leave it at that. Yeah, yeah.
fair. No, no. So I guess what's next? What's next for you then in terms of this year in terms of like photography and anything else? Have you got any outside of like FT events? Have you got any kind of like bookings coming up or any
Not
like what?
really. Nothing crazy. I'm just gonna be trying to do more food photography because I've
Nice.
started to really like food.
Fair dues, don't we all?
Genuinely, yeah. Now, something that obviously I don't want to say things that I'm thinking of doing, but
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
no, of course, yeah. That's it,
yeah,
man. After that, they don't blow. You don't have to blow it up, man. You don't have to blow
yeah.
it. You know,
But
keep your cards close to
there's
your chest.
yeah,
Keep your
yeah.
cards close to
I
your
just
chest.
don't want to do it because it's like it will be disingenuous of me saying, yeah, this is coming up and it's not. But there's
Oh, yeah.
definitely I've got content planned for like myself, anyways.
Yes, yes.
Definitely some more video stuff as well, not just
Oh, okay.
photography. And similar to just like a lot of it revolves around actual food and a little bit of vlogging.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
for me, at the moment, um, it's just the easiest thing for me to kind of do in my own
Yeah.
time because it's
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah,
that
yeah,
I
yeah.
could. It's the one thing that I can control and
Yeah, yeah. Like you're not
getting.
relying on an event to
Yeah,
happen to do it. You can.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
That
yeah.
makes
But I mean, events. I don't know what it is. I need to talk to you maybe because I'm definitely not seeing enough events that are
mm,
available to me to do. But
mm.
yeah, I wish I could.
That way.
That's one thing that I love, man. Like events.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nothing like you can't
Events.
be like being at events like
Yeah,
especially when
honestly, there's
things are
nothing. There's
happening and stuff
nothing.
like that.
Yeah,
And just everyone's there just to play games and enjoy and have fun and
yeah,
just vibe
yeah.
and
Dude, I was
everything.
saying, even my cousin who went to the last VSA, he's just like, yeah, I'm going every year, man.
Mm.
It was his first time going. I'm just like, bro, if you're going, I'm going. Yeah, if you're
That's
going,
sick,
I'm going
man.
for
That's sick,
sure.
man. That's sick, man.
Yeah,
Nah, man. Thank you for your time, man. Thank you for that. I think we can probably like wrap it up now. I appreciate the time. I
I
appreciate the
appreciate it.
knowledge that you
Yeah.
shared as well, man. Like if you got any do you want to shout out your socials or have you got any shout outs before we wrap it up?
Man, no shout outs apart from the people that I've already mentioned. Everyone that I mentioned by name, just full respect to you guys. Thanks for making everything absolutely easy for me. Shout out to you guys for running a sick event every year.
Appreciate that, man.
We just need more events
Mm,
in the UK
mm.
for sure. We need more events that are just like sanctioned events for people to come out to and just be like,
Yeah.
this is the thing to go to
No, it's
for
fair, man.
sure,
So
man.
I'd say so. Maybe we're gonna wrap it up now. You can follow Goatphew on all socials. Is it all the
Yeah,
same on all
everything.
socials?
Everything is Goatphew, and if it's not Goatphew, it's not worth following on. So yeah, just follow Goatphew, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, anything that you can think of. If it's not there, you don't need to follow me there. That's fine.
Fair. Just a quick question, actually. You mentioned video.
Yeah.
Have you got much experience in video and stuff then? Or have you
I
kind of been...
do. Yeah, bro.
Okay.
If you go on
Hey.
my YouTube, I'm yeah, a little bit, yeah. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
something that I'm trying to get into seriously.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
I'll definitely check that. I say just check out Goldtree on all socials. Again, thanks for the guys in the chat that joined up. We're streaming live on YouTube as well, so I'll push that out as well. Before we go, as I say, I'm gonna do a little bit of shameless self-plugging on my stuff. I am also a children's book author, illustrator. You can go littlemilobooks.com. We got coloring books, storybooks. We got where are the plush toys? We got plush toys.
There's a lot of
Shout
parents in the FGC, man. Definitely get some for your kids.
out from Mari. So yeah, man. Let me again, it's just shameless, but you know what? You got to do it. And I got like 6 books, got activity packs, plush
Let's
toys,
go.
all the rest of it. Pardon?
I said, let's go, man. Damn.
Oh no, I
Let's
appreciate it, man.
celebrate.
Yeah, again, I do other stuff outside the FGC stuff, but yeah. Let's say we got versus fighting coming up August 15th, 17th. There'll be more info coming very soon. Very soon. We're still working on things, but yeah, so the first game result that has been announced is Mortal Kombat. We are on the pro competition tour. So Biennale is popping off this weekend. Obviously, Mortal Kombat centric tournament. We got Edinburgh, which is in June. We got the Winner Stays On, which is next weekend. Winner of that qualifies for last chance qualifier for Red Bull Committee. And yeah, I can't think of anything else. But for now, we're gonna head off again. Goatphew, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I appreciate the knowledge shared. Appreciate you sharing your story. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, we definitely have to get you back at some point soon, and I'm hoping to see you at Versus fighting this year, bro.
Nah, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll try to be there. It's expensive, but I'm gonna be there. I should be there.
No. I respect that, man. I respect that, man. So I can get some
Cool.
more tips in that as well. Maybe I might have another
Anytime.
lens. We'll see how it goes. I'm a rookie. I'm a rookie, man. I'm a rookie, man. But for now, thanks a
Anytime.
lot, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the time. Everyone in chat, thanks a lot. Respect. We'll be back next week. And I'll be sharing who's on tomorrow because I was supposed to queue up the graphic and I haven't. So just look out for our social to see who's on next week. Trust me, I only got home like 5 minutes before we went live. So I'm going to queue up that graphic for tomorrow. So we'll be back next Thursday, 7 p.m. You know the time, you know the place. Electronic Dojo on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Electronic Dojo UK on Instagram. Follow us on all socials, and we'll be back next week. Shout outs out to you guys in the chat. See you later, guys.